and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Daniel, I'm really getting sick and tired of how you've been speaking facts and information. How dare you, when you know that the major problem has always been and always will be that pothead, jagoff comedian from Chicago doing a show in his garage. It's Jimmy Dore's fault.
Well, again,
it's all his fault.
I'm agreeing with you. The world before Jimmy Dore had his podcast in his garage was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. There were unlimited freedoms. There was access for everyone to have food, medicine. And the second that show started, everything. It wasn't Harambe. It was Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore killed Harambe. Jimmy Dore, caused the economic collapse that we're in.
Jimmy Dore burnt my toast. Jimmy Dore did it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guess what? You know what? Jimmy Dore has been canceling everybody. And guess what? Jimmy Dore has canceled himself. So why am I talking about Jimmy Dore? No, I'm not going to be like Cenk Uger or Sammy Boy Cedar. Hey, Sam Cedar, next time, if you're going to be selling Japanese knives, look into it first before you claim they're Japanese knives, boyo. Come on.
Well, Kit, he put his integrity in every box of knives. That's why there's none left.
Again, folks, I'm not going to be an expert here, okay? Because there are professional experts out there in regards towards Japanese knives, swords, steel, etc.
I actually dabble in this a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not an expert. I'm more like a.
Oh, I know, because you've done catering and a lot of cooking and a lot of other stuff here as well. I know.
I just understand the metallurgy of Japan.
So here's the thing. Since I've been to Japan twice, right? Japanese steel, Japanese knives and swords, it's still the same tangent. And Sammy Boy, this isn't Jimmy Dore's fault. It's of a high quality. The last thing they're going to do.
I'm going to correct you, Kit. Yeah. The metals are technically low quality, but the process of binding them together is what makes them high quality.
Yes, thank you for that. The last thing any respectable, smith is going to do is sell them at an overall cheap price to some YouTube channel for everyone to promote on. That's not how it works, Sammy. But that's not Jimmy Dore's fault. But here's the thing. It turns out now, folks, that Jimmy Dore is correct. Correct on an issue that we've been talking about. And I want to just say, we've even lost good friends and, dare I say it, people that we, used to know.
I just want to
that were also upset that we were in line with this whole idea of force the vote.
And here's the thing. I just want to say this really quickly before we even get into it. Like, this is what I was talking about before. We have our own view on issues and how the things should go. And we just someone else is also with us. Let's pair up with them on this one issue. We don't go like we're talking about with Democrats where they go, ooh, I'm in that in-group. Whatever they say goes, we're going to do that. We just happen to agree.
So returning back to the story we talked about in the first half of our show, today's events are confirming, because again, not once now, but 6 times, McCarthy failed to secure the speakership. Today's events are confirming that our idea, that means Brianna Joy Gray, Justin Jackson, Dr. Cornel West, and DSA. So many. DSA, your idea was 100% correct. And the progressives in Congress are phonies who turned on their own supporters and became proud establishment hacks. Everyone who opposed it are now revealed as huge liars and gaslighters. Fat Tony, I mean Jake Uger. Sammy Boy Cedar, I mean Sammy Cedar. Go back to selling your knives. I mean, him and Ben Shapiro have that in common now. They sold fake Japanese knives. That's from Hong Kong, which is in a total different area altogether than Japan. And these are the people who are on the Force the Vote petition. There's AOC, Ayanna Presley, Barbara Lee, Chuy Garcia. We interviewed him before. Cory Bush, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Jamie Raskin, Kay Porter, Marie Newman, former representatives.
You interviewed her too.
Mark, yeah. Haven't heard back from her ever. We tried to do a follow-up interview. Never happened. Mark Bochin. Oh, talk about a fighter. Pramila Jayapal, Rashida Tlaib, Raul Gudrella, and Ro Khanna. Oh yeah, there's Ro Khanna right there. So it turns out again, force the vote was a acceptable and correct idea. But just want to throw this out here again, because again we have all of Fat Tony, Cenk Uger, saying this brilliant stuff right here. Cenk Uygur wrote, for all people pushing hashtag fraud squad, do you understand that if all 10 Justice Democrats had voted present, a GOP leader would be speaker right now? That would have been what would have been accomplished? Easily being destructive. You have to come up with a plan for becoming constructive. Now, here's how you know Cenk Uygur truly is an idiot. Now, what did I say in regards to how a opposing party can become Speaker of the House? Is if enough of said party voted present. Jimmy Dore and everyone that was fucking pushing forced the fucking vote wasn't calling for a president. They were saying withhold your vote. Vote no. No, not present. Big difference. Present is canceling your vote, making it null and void for the idiots in the background. No means you continue on, which is what we're seeing with Kevin frickin' McCarthy right now. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, 6 times. 6, count them 6. And the Republicans, well, guess what? They still have to vote for a speaker. But the Democrats aren't going to get that position because no Republican's going to be dumb or insane enough to vote president. We were asking in 2021 is if those progressives could vote no, not present, no. N-O. Present is P-R-E-S-E-N-T. And O, that's another word, 2 different things altogether. And again, reminder that the right gets fighters and the left gets gaslighters for the establishment, like Fat Tony.
Now, I want to also
Peter.
Really quickly throw out, we have a comment from Jamie, says, who's making a joke, of course, that I don't want to vote for the right thing because Jimmy Dore agrees with me. This is exactly the point we're making about integrity. This is the point I was making, I think, a week or 2 ago, even about Elon Musk. That if we focus and we hate something just because of the person involved, we're not any better. We have to always be like this. And so when Force the Vote came up for us here at Hardlands, we talked about it and we're like, this seems like a reasonable option. It has a chance of doing something. It exposes people that we can then call out afterwards. This seems like a reasonable plan. We don't have to even get anyone, we don't even have to have it be passed for this to be effective. That's the reason why we went with Force the Vote. It was a simple equation. There's a formula that we followed of, is this beneficial for regular people if it happens or not?
Now, here's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to clip this video, but I'm also going to post this segment that I did with Fair and Balance on Monday's show. I'm going to post it here in the live stream chat. Folks, save the link, because Farron goes into detail about what happens when this procedure for voting for Speaker of the House happens. So in other words, folks, Farron is going to educate you in regards towards how a speaker is selected. That means Sam Cedar, Fat Tony, Anna Banana, and all the rest, David Peckerman, they gave you misinformation. They were saying, oh, if the squad votes present, Jimmy and everyone else, we were asking them to vote no.
Remember when Joe Biden was like, I'm going to help student debt, and then he made the worst possible argument that was most likely to get struck down by the courts that of course got struck down by the courts. That's the equivalent of what they did. They take what you say, they twist it into non-reality. You might even say that they're gaslighting reality, and then spitting it back as if you're an idiot for thinking something that you never actually thought.
Now, again, here's something else too I want to bring up, and I'll play just a few minutes of it. I want to play it in its full entirety, but here we have on a large media network something that Cenk Uygur foams at the mouth that he wishes TYT was before he gave up his wazoo for the Katzenberg cash. Yes, I'm being mean, folks. Should I be better? Yeah, I should, but I'm not going to be mature because that Jagoff
Channel your inner Rogel. Yeah. Brutal honesty.
Here is Brianna Joy Gray on a segment on a large media platform stating Jimmy Dore was right, but better yet, Jimmy Dore was correct, as was everyone else who supported Force the Vote. Daniel and I lost good friends and people we have known for a while because we believed in Force the Vote. Now, I don't care what your political ideology is. I want to be consistent, all right? And to all these people right now, this is what Force the Vote looks like. And this is an endorsement of the Republicans by no means. But I want to see this thing play through. I want to see it's not good for us, but I want to see force the vote happen. I want to see it continue on, because the progressives, they could have done this to Pelosi. And this isn't a matter of debate. This is a fact. It's a fact.
Administrative asks that don't matter to the voting public. He cites Republican plans to defund the IRS and secure the border as priorities that are getting stalled, and jokes that it's almost as if the Democrats paid Republicans to act this foolishly. He goes on to say that these rogue Republicans have no plan. And as I listen to him, I can't help but think, my God, he sounds an awful lot like establishment Democrats. Let me explain. In 2020, the situation was reversed. Democrats had a small majority in the House, such that a handful of progressives, squad members alone, had enough votes to hold up Nancy Pelosi's nomination to lead the House. There were plenty of reasons, by the way, to do so. For one, AOC had previously gestured to the fact that she found it incredible that Pelosi had never faced a real speakership challenge in all her years. Moreover, we were at the start of a COVID pandemic and at the tail end of a progressive presidential campaign that delivered unprecedented public support for Medicare for all, along with other progressive policies. Did Bernie's loss mean that the movement representing a majority of Americans was supposed to die? And during a pandemic at that. Since Trump was still president, Democrats were still pretending to care about COVID deaths. And before the vaccines, when even young and healthy people were finding themselves hospitalized or even dying from COVID, there was genuine energy around using the public health crisis as a springboard for improving our public health system, which, by the way, is the most expensive in the world, despite yielding worse results than peer nations. Disgruntled progressives who made up a significant part of the Democratic Party base had dutifully voted for Biden, despite warnings from folks like myself who said that doing so without establishing some conditions would mean that Biden would ultimately betray most, if not all, of his campaign promises. And in the weeks after the election, progressive YouTube Politico and comedian Jimmy Dore floated a simple idea to get something in return for those very progressive voters. An idea, in fact, that he gleaned from the DSA's own handbook. That is, you guessed it, force the vote. Progressive squad members could leverage their speakership vote to extract concessions from Nancy Pelosi. Now, unlike Republicans now, the left's asks were to be substantive, not just procedural. One key ask was a vote on Medicare for all, which was intended to keep the fight alive and draw a contrast between Democrats' claims that they want to improve health care for Americans and the fact that they repeatedly kill Medicare for all legislation as quickly as they receive money from the pharmaceutical industry. If you want to understand why the vote for Medicare for all was such an important ask, just look at what's happened over the last 2 years. Look at how California, with its Democratic supermajority legislature, killed a statewide Medicare for all bill, or consider how silent all of the squad members had been about Medicare for all since the end of the Bernie campaign. Did 68,000 people a year stop dying from a lack of health insurance, or did it just become uncool to talk about it now that we're outside of a fundraising cycle? Now, some of us, fearful that exactly this would happen, rallied over the holidays in 2020, staffing phone trees and calling progressive Congress members furiously about the plan and even planning rallies. As left media figures debated the merits of the plan, people like David Sirota offered constructive additions to the ask, including a suggestion that Pelosi be forced to oust corporate Democrat Richie Neal from the Ways and Means Committee, where he was poised to stop progress on healthcare reform. What should be clear is the specifics of the ask were much less important than the following fact. Nancy Pelosi was obviously an enemy to the left and should not have been voted for without gaining something significant in return. After AOC's first notable day in Congress, during which she protested with climate activists in Pelosi's office, the longtime speaker made quick work of bullying the squad members into submission. An iron fist and a...
And I'm going to pause it right here for a second. I'm going to be calm in saying this. But do you see Marjorie Taylor Greene being bullied? Representative Gatz being bullied by any Republican leadership? No, that's not going to happen. But AOC got bullied and she cried and wept. We've seen her cry and weep. We've seen her break down. We've seen her do performative artwork. She missed out her calling on being an actress, as have held all the other Congressional Progressive Caucus representatives. At the height of a pandemic, when they were needed the most, they abandoned us.
No, they didn't just abandon us. They told us to fuck off.
Yeah. You know what? Rogel Dorn, brutal honesty. How can I argue back with that? No. Yeah, they did. They told us the F off. They told you. And I'm pretty sure some of you have voted for or supported AOC or some of these squad members. If you're not angry, you should be. If you're not raging, you should be. This isn't about Jimmy Dore, but he was correct. And DSA and all you groups, all you SJWs who panic like, oh, we can't challenge AOC or the squad or the progressives in the House. It'll be bad. Oh, no. Or McCarthy becomes speaker. That's only if those elected idiots voted present. If they voted no, we would be seeing the same thing as what's happening right now to Kevin McCarthy. And because of their inaction, we're seeing force to vote work. Now, you think Fat Tony or any of these blue checkmark SJWs who made a career because Trump was president are ever going to admit they were wrong? No, because it's pride. And also another thing, too. Breonna Joy Gray talked about the other thing, fundraiser. We get Medicare for all or women's reproductive rights or UBI or student debt forgiveness. The Democrats lose the one thing that they need, the one thing that AOC and Bernie need too, fundraise money.
Gucci glove is how Politico described Pelosi once. And over the course of their first 2 years in Congress, the squad members largely submitted to said fist. But here was an opportunity to draw attention to the corruption that paid for that proverbial Gucci glove. The squad members could have demanded important committee assignments. As the current rebel Republicans have done, they could have forced a vote on banning stock trading by Congress members. After all, Pelosi's personal wealth has ballooned during her decades in office, widely out of proportion to her congressional salary. This is the woman who famously defended congressional stock trading despite the clear conflict of interest and insider knowledge Congress members possess. This is a woman who just presided over the quiet death of a bill to end congressional stock trading, one that was arguably designed to fail in the first place.
And we'll stop it right there. Now, Daniel, I do want to give you the final note, but before I do, I think we all deserve a laugh. We all deserve to understand that we have been vindicated. We have been proven correct, not just right, but correct.
Yeah.
Now, again, TYT, Majority Report, David Packerman, they're never going to admit that they were wrong. None of these blue checkmark jagoffs are ever going to admit that they were wrong. We were correct on force to vote. We were correct. This isn't a debate. There's no conversation to be had because we're seeing the Republicans do it in real time. The only way, again, the Democrats are going to ever become speaker right now is if enough dumb Republicans vote present. Jimmy Dore wasn't asking AOC to vote present. And if she really thought that, then she must truly be mentally challenged. And I'm being kind with that word. Okay? I'm being kind with that word. All those 15 congressmen and women who are on the force to vote petition, we weren't telling you to vote present. We were telling you to vote no. And my big fear is, did they think no and present meant the same thing? Because fair and balanced, in that video clip that I just posted in the live stream, she explains in detail the difference between yes, no, and present. Yes means you're voting for your person. No means you're not. And present means you're throwing your vote away. It makes it null and void. You're non-existent. So let's get ready to laugh. Daniel, I hope you're ready to laugh. Okay. All right. Well, I think you will be ready to laugh.
So when you have a must-pass bill like this COVID relief plan, you're not actually killing the bill if you vote no. Because what is Biden going to do? Drop it? He's not going to drop it. That's not a thing that's possible. You can't drop this. You can't drop the budget. You can't drop the defense bill. Okay, those are must passes. So what you do is you force when you
what you force what? Hold on. since I'm in charge, that's right, folks. I go mad with power. We're going to rewind that.
Can't drop this. You can't drop the budget. You can't drop the defense bill. Okay, those are must passes. So what you do is you force when you.
Oh, he almost said it. He almost said it. You forced. He almost said it.
No.
Pause it.
Is you
Pause it.
force when you.
This goes to the thing. Here's the thing that gets me on Jimmy. Why it's interesting to watch how people deal with Jimmy. Jimmy's a very direct guy, and he doesn't do the normal Washington pomp and circumstances of not directly insulting you when you do something incredibly stupid, which somehow with humanity means you gain a lot of enemies, even though you're being more direct and real, which is what people say that they actually want. This goes to show that in a room of elites, they would rather 1,000 children die somewhere else in the world than saying a bad word around them. And that's why people don't like Jimmy Dore.
Yep. But
They'd rather have those 1,000 kids die.
Daniel, but listen, when you force the
Vote no.
When you force, shit. Disconnect. When you vote no. Let's see it again. That's pretty sweet.
When you force is you passes. So what you do is you force when you
right there, you can see Jake's brain like, no!
Oh, he's trying.
Oh, man. Oh, TYT, you have fallen down. I hope you like that Katzenberg cash up your wazoo.
vote no, that forces them back to the negotiating table. But this time, you're actually at the table.
You mean like if you withhold your vote from Nancy Pelosi for speaker, you have to go back to the caucus and you have to fucking figure it out again or get a new speaker? You mean like that? So now you're at the negotiating table? Now you have been like that?
Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the YouTube super chat. Alan Myron, who again tipped $50.
Wow. Thank you. Wow.
Holy cow, brother. I hope you're doing good. Aloha to you and to your family. Clearly, the force is not with Cenk.
See, this is the thing about Cenk and what the only reason that Cenk exists to this day is because he's made corporate connections, because he's now entered into the same game that AOC and Bernie Sanders, Sammy Cedar, David Pakman have all entered into. This is why they're in this, because when you're part of the corporate media, they make sure you don't fall because they understand that your audience is important to treat like sheep. It's that simple. TYT has a television channel, not because that they do anything spectacular with their reporting, but because they're not spectacular with their reporting, and they've been doing it long enough, and they've made enough connections that have been inroads that they have a show on television. Because it's none of the systems that we are dealing with in America, especially, have anything to do with merit. It's the largest, biggest lie that's out there. It has to do with patronship. Who do you know? Who likes you? It's just high school on a grander scale with more, that's harder to get into, much easier to be kicked out of. But if you stay in and you make the talking points and you keep going, you will keep getting paid.
Exactly.
That's why so many people succumb to it.
And all what Jimmy and everyone else was asking for was, and I'm going to rewind back the video just a little bit because we're almost at the end of it. All what we were asking for was Medicare for all, not a high order. Now, our politicians have gold-plated healthcare. Democratic and Republican lawmakers have gold-plated healthcare. They do insider trading. They got a 6-figure salary. They got gold-plated social benefits. And we got a YouTube super chat from Tony Clifton who wrote, "Forced to vote for Medicare for all was a simple ask." And again,
it's one of the most easy things. It's an easy thing. It's withhold the vote until concessions are made and then give vote. Yeah. Anyone that's ever even heard of politics should understand it, unless you're paid not to. Because if Cenk was for it, he gets a call or an email or something, and they say, cut it out. And he goes, well, I could remain in the club that I've fought my whole life to reach. and stay there.
Yeah,
I
which
could-
which
or
what
I-
he wanted, which
or
is
I
what
could
he wanted
fight.
to do.
Yeah, or he could fight.
Yeah, and Cenk Uygur was never going to fight. You know what I got to do one day? I got to do a live react maybe on Rockfin to Mad as Hell, because I did actually a movie review of on Rockfin Mad as Hell, and I got to say, folks, Cenk Uyghur's always been like this. But let's play this again for one more laugh, because again, force the vote. It was just a simple ask, and Jimmy wasn't telling them to vote present. He was telling them to vote no. There's a difference between yes, no, and present. And please check out that video clip in which, and I'm going to post this in, because this video clip is also going to be clipped as well. I'm going to post that link in which Farron, host of Fair and Balance, explains in detail the procedures of electing Speaker of the House. Yes, no, and present. 3 different things. Yes means you're voting for your guy. No means you're not. And present means you're throwing away your vote. It's like you don't exist at all, period. And if enough Republicans or Democrats vote present, said opposing party can then have their guy or gal become Speaker of the House.
Must pass bill like this COVID relief plan, you're not actually killing the bill if you vote no. Because what is Biden going to do? Drop it? He's not going to drop it. That's not a thing that's possible. You can't drop this. You can't drop the budget. You can't drop the defense bill. Okay, those are must passes. So what you do is you force when you.
And see, there's Jimmy. He's just caught up there. Like, what?
He's levitating at the moment.
Yes, he's like, like, what the F? And Cenk is thinking in his brain, I can't believe it. I just gave Jimmy Dore more content.
It's like you can see. It's like you have the wait. Pull that back up. Pull that strap back up.
Hold on.
You have to have like the Dave and I'm gonna try and do this. Okay, this is gonna be hard because I might not even succeed. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Here we have the beta male who realizes that I don't have a David Attenborough voice, so I can't really do it properly. So let me try. Wait, I have to go Australian to make it work. Here we have the beta male who's realized that he said the one thing that he swore he would not say, realizing in real time, and the person next to him, the Dore creature. I don't know.
I got something. I got something.
It worked in my head in an English accent. It did not work in my fake Australian accent.
No, I got something here. Hi, this is Kermit the Frog here, talking about observing humans in the natural landscape. Here we have the beta Cenk realizing that he just all of a sudden said something, and now his wazoo has shrunk 1,000-fold because he knows he gave his natural opponent, the Jimmy Dore, an alpha predator, apex predator in the ecosystem, the proper information to make more content. Hi, this is Kermit the Frog here. I once again observing humans. There is the beta Cenk, and there's the alpha Jimmy.
So I gotta say, I did bomb that, but if I had not bombed that, we would have not gotten that. So you're welcome, everyone.
That's right. There's Mickey, Kermit, Obama, Mickey, and then I got to work on my Joker a little bit more.
It's sad. I can only do Trump.
There you go.
You just pull your shoulders up and you don't speak that well. You make it so your shoulders really can't move, even if they want to. Look at that beta Cenk. Can't even do it. See, I can do that real easy. I can channel that real well. You can channel way more than I can.
Yeah, I got a couple of voices. Got to rework on my Joker. I had Joker down. I'm talking about 2008 Heath Ledger. But that's something else altogether. So once again, Jimmy Dore has been proven correct. We probably won't hear anything from Fat Tony and his fantastic.
But I do think we have something new that we can do from now on. From everyone watching as well, we need to spread this far and wide. It's not Sammy Boy Cedar anymore. That's retired. It's now Scammy Boy Cedar.
Oh, right. Yeah, because those knives were scams. They were from Hong Kong, not Japan. Again, Hong Kong and Japan. I'm not a geographical expert, but I'm proud enough to say on this show, I am confident infinity% that Hong Kong and Japan, 2 different things altogether, Sammy Boy. Or Scammy Boy.
Unless he thinks everything's 65 or 70 years old.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that's the only way.
Yeah. Oh, well, folks. And again, as a final note, force the vote was correct. Force the vote was right. Simple as that. No debate, no conversation.